Shout, but I'll do my yoga teacher voice.
Okay. Okay.
A little bit better as well, I guess that might make a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so as always, tuning in feels good. Everything we say is a suggestion. So if your body, mind doesn't want to do that right now, then just don't do it. Do whatever you want to do. So feel free to do something else if what I suggest doesn't resonate. So let's start by just dropping down into the body, flow with the awareness down to the fingertips, flow with the awareness down to the toes, and just allow the awareness to ride on the breath. And we'll start with some gentle stretching for the neck. So keeping the spine upright, bringing the chin down towards the chest, and turning the chin from side to side, like you're very slowly, gently saying no. And just easing into the back of the neck. And then increasing that movement, rolling the head gently round, ear to shoulder. And now lifting the chin up and down like you're saying yes. And next time the chin is down, rolling round to the other side. And we say yes here as well. And then chin to chest one more time, and use the muscles on the back of the neck to lift the head up and back, like it's sliding back. And click into that position of head on the neck. And if you imagine an egg on a spoon rolling towards the back of the spoon, the head rolls back. And then from this point, we'll rotate the shoulders, squeezing up and back and down. And changing direction. And then ending with an up, back and down. And then we'll take those circles into the rib cage, the Sufi circles, and really let yourself circle. So moving from one sit bone to the other, moving back and forward. So you can let, one side of the hips come up. You don't have to stay down and grounded. And this circling, rocking is a really nice nervous system hack to calm the nervous system. And then changing direction. Okay. Coming into stillness. We'll start to mobilize the hips a little bit, so leaning back, you can put your hands on the floor behind you, bring your heels down and windscreen wipering the legs. So we get a bit of internal rotation and external rotation for the hips. Gently at first. So the pose we're working towards is Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. So Kapotasana being quite a big hip opener, and then adding the kind of Ekapada Raja Kapotasana bit of it is quite a strong back bend and also opening for the shoulders. So it's kind of a whole body pose. So we'll be warming up the whole body, and whether or not you do the final pose doesn't matter at all, because you'll have still done this whole body practice, which hopefully will warm everything up. Does anybody else find themselves walking forwards on their bum when they do this, or is it just me? Okay. So moving back and maybe crossing the legs in the opposite direction. And let's do some lateral flowing, moving from side to side, breathing, flowing. Working up the side body, maybe reaching diagonally forwards, maybe opening up back behind you a little bit. Maybe sweeping the arms forwards and round. And then maybe just some free movement, maybe swimming with the shoulders, reaching up. Just exploring maybe those kind of sweeps and rainbows over your head. If you find anything that feels particularly good, feel free to stay there. And then coming into stillness and something much more structured and closed chain. So we hold onto the belt to close the chain to give more strength work and more proprioceptive feedback. So we start holding the belt out in front of us, maybe just slightly wider than shoulder width, and pull as if you're trying to pull it, make it longer. And then we row, so pulling it in towards the chest and then pushing away. And it's like a bit you have to imagine, and then maybe a bit lower down, that it's really hard work, because if you're moving through, I don't know, something very thick, and you can also bring it up and pull it down. You're pushing up something really heavy and maybe behind your head, and hopefully the muscles start to shake a little bit. That's a sign that you're really working them in a good way, making them stronger. Okay, and then stop with the belt out in front, make it a little bit wider, and we'll do that bow and arrow. So pulling back with one arm, pushing forwards with the other. So like, again, you're trying to make it longer, adding a twist, and then moving out to the front and moving to the other side. And moving from side to side like this. So working our pulling muscles, stabilizing the shoulders, twisting. Okay, one more on each side. And then we can put the belt down and shaking the hands, bending and straightening the elbow, shaking the shoulders. So waking up the energy, and also another nervous system hack, that shaking kind of processes stress hormones and moves us into balance in the nervous system. So putting the hands down, just feeling the after effects in the arms. Even that, just that little bit of shaking can feel like quite a strong effect. Okay, and then going back to the hips, making a thread the needle shape. And moving. So first of all, the knee that's bent, moving it forwards and backwards, so towards you and away from you. And then rocking from side to side, so bringing that bent knee, or they're both bent, but the knee that's up towards the floor, and then bringing the foot towards the floor. And you get a bit of a massage for your hip muscles, I do anyway, yeah, everyone else. So those deep rotator muscles that are quite hard to get at, the piriformis, gemellus, obturator, quadratus femoris, all those little ones, we're actually getting a nice massage for those muscles. Okay, and then let's put the foot all the way down to the floor, coming forwards, and we find ourselves in a twist. And then that top leg can come up and over, bringing knee to foot. So we're in deer, again that internal rotation in one leg, external in the other. And then maybe lift up and reach by being, so if you press the hips forwards, stretch, and the hip flexors, the front of the hip, stretch down the side body. And then coming down and release. Maybe a little bit of windscreen wipering. Maybe legs in the air for the windscreen wipering, adding a bit of activation, a bit of motor control. And the legs, maybe your hands even harder. And then hopefully you can remember which way around you did it last time. Putting the legs in position themselves if you can. And we do the other side. So first of all, the knee coming closer and further away. And then rocking from side to side. And then bringing the foot to the floor, finding your twist. Top leg comes up and over. Knee to foot, maybe lifting up, see how that feels. And then coming down, and again, a little bit with the windscreen wipering, and maybe lifting up the hips as well, so adding a bit of a kind of arch in the back. That feels good. Okay. And then crossing the legs, will come into double pigeon or square pose. So crossing the legs, sliding the feet away from each other, pressing the sit bones back and down, lengthening the front body, and walking your hands forwards. Let's stay there for a moment. I like to wiggle, and maybe shifting from side to side, maybe snaky action through the spine. And then the front foot walking towards that side, adding a diagonal stretch. And then adding a twist, so maybe you can put your elbow to the sole of your foot and then place your hands into prayer and twist like this, or maybe you do some other kind of twisting. Okay, untwist, walk back around to the center, and then walk back up again. And changing cross, we do the same thing on the other side, so sit bones back and down, hips come forwards over the top of the femur, walking the hands away from you. And breathing. And walking the hands towards the front foot. And then add your twist, however you want to do it. Great. And then untwist, walk back around to the center and walk your way up. And then if you grab your blocks, if you have them, and we'll come into elbow child or elbow puppy. So if you're taking elbow puppy, you're on all fours and you keep the hips up and over the knees, put your elbows on your block and come down. And if you're doing elbow child, then your hips are down on your heels. Okay, and then coming up and coming onto all fours. And cat-cow. Because why wouldn't you? Can't believe I did yoga for like 20 years without doing cat-cow. What was I doing? Okay. And coming to neutral, and that move that we've been doing, so bringing the right foot back, bringing the inside edge of the foot down onto the floor, and then the right arm makes a big circle, opening up to the side, then coming back to all fours and swapping over, so the left leg inside edge, opening out. And a couple of times like this. And then the next time your right foot is back, stay there for a couple of breaths. Option to lift your right leg up, so strengthening for TFL and glute max, and all the glutes actually, the abductor muscles. And then if you want to, bending the knee, reach back to take hold of the foot and press hand into foot. So a bit of maybe a stretch for the hip flexors. Okay, and then releasing that slowly, coming back and stepping the right foot all the way forwards into a low lunge. We'll keep the right arm up and do a twist low down. Maybe you feel now those muscles that we just worked are now stretching, maybe. Yeah, exactly, TFL. Are you higher up than TFL? Okay. Now TFL does go up to there because your hip bones go up to there, right?
Yeah.
And TFL is there on the side of the hips.
Maybe it's the top attachment.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and then coming up slowly, and we're coming to a twist upright. Okay, and then just release that for a moment. You might want to put a blanket underneath your knee, depending on how it feels for you. And you might want to tuck your back toes under. So a little bit of a flow. Let me just see if I can. So we come from the twist that's down, and then come up into the twist up, and then come to the twist that's down again, and then come up, windmill the arm. So now your left arm comes forwards, right arm comes back, the arm comes all the way over your head, and you can twist down to the side. So that arm comes up and over, down into the twist, and then comes straight up to the side, and then that arm comes down again, and then windmill the arms. So the right arm comes forwards, left arm comes back, and looking at the back foot, adding a back bend, and flowing in your own time between those 2 points. Don't worry too much if it doesn't go exactly. You can add a bit of a back bend there as well if you like. And then depending on how warmed up you are as you go back, you might want to put your hand to that heel and reach back behind you. Okay. Oh. And then the next time you're leaning forwards, stay forwards, lift up the back foot, maybe taking hold of the foot and drawing it in. Maybe you use your belt. What time did we start at? Did anyone notice?
I think it was
20 minutes.
past 10.
I'm so programmed to go on the hour to 1:15, it really confuses me. Okay, so let's release that and step that right foot out to the side and do a few arm thread needles. So bending forwards, reaching through with that arm.
The other arm.
It doesn't matter really. So long as it feels good, it doesn't matter. Let's stay up, take a few breaths there. And then bring your hand that's down on the floor, bring that down in line with the knee. So you're in a kind of straight Parigasana. Pressing the hips forwards, reaching the arm up and over. And again, strengthening for TFL and glutes, lifting that leg up and some elbow to knee action. And then coming down and bringing your hands forwards, stepping the foot back, coming into plank. And then lowering down, coming into cobra. And then coming down and coming back up onto all fours. So we start again at the beginning. So the left leg comes back, inside edge of the foot, down on the floor, drawing a big circle. And then next time your left foot is back, staying there. Option to lift the leg up if you want. Option to bend the knee, take hold of the foot and add a bit of a back bend. And an opening for the front of the hips. And then release slowly, bring the hand down, step the foot all the way forwards into low lunge. Bringing the arm back up into a twist. And then coming up into an upright twist. Reaching your fingertips away from each other. And then bringing the hand back down again. And then windmilling the arms, opening out. The other way, maybe bringing that hand down and the other arm up, seeing how that feels. Okay. And coming up, you might want to tuck the back toes. The hand comes down, the arm reaches up, and then coming straight up. Slowly, left hand is down, right arm is up. And then coming down into the twist again. And then windmilling the arms. Maybe reaching back and down. Maybe putting your hand on your foot. Seeing what works for you and flowing in your own time. Okay. And then the next time you're down, staying down and maybe lifting up that back foot. Taking hold of the foot and gently drawing And again, when you're ready, releasing the foot. Bring the hands down, the front foot comes out to the side, and then your left arm, the same arm as a straight leg, comes up, reaching up and back, and then a few arms, thread the needles. Reaching up again, just for a couple of breaths. And then the hand can come down, the right hand comes back in line with the knee, reaching up.
Yes.
Yes. Maybe lifting the leg up, and maybe some elbow to knee action. And then releasing. Bringing the hands back forwards, coming into plank again. Lowering down slowly. Coming into cobra or upward dog. Maybe moving from side to side, looking over your shoulder. And then pushing yourself back into child's pose, so you can move your blanket out of the way now if you're using it. And then from child's pose, coming up into downward dog. Gently pressing into the heels. See if you can find your calf muscles. Okay. And then walking the hands, walking the feet towards the hands, or the hands towards the feet. Holding onto your elbows, having a hand forwards. And then grabbing your belt, bending the knees, coming up to standing. And just feeling yourself upright. And a decent side bending, so holding your belt above your head and bend to the side, and up, bend to the other side. And then maybe taking a bit of a wider hold on your belt, and bend the knees, and then take a stretch to the side. So maybe deepening that stretch, coming up, and then side bend, bend the knees, and doing that a couple of times. And all the time, just gently pulling the strap apart as if you're trying to make it longer. And then adding on, so as you're bending the knees, coming to the side, taking that top arm back behind you. So flossing that arm and then bringing it back forwards, adding a round forwards, and then coming up, coming down to the other side, straightening the top arm, taking it off behind you, bringing it all the way forwards. And in your own time, a few times from side to side. Okay, and then you can put your belt down. And standing at the front of your mat, transferring your weight
onto your right foot, so the left leg comes up. And actually, let's do this now. So bring the left foot into thread the needle, pressing your hips back behind you, bending the knee, bending forwards, maybe bringing your hands into prayer position. Okay, and then releasing slowly, sending that foot all the way back, straightening the leg, and then bending the front knee to place your feet slowly with control. And then coming up into high lunge, reaching the arms up, interlace the fingers, bend the elbows, rest your head back in your hands, reach your elbows up towards the ceiling, adding a back bend and adding an opening for the shoulders. Pressing back into the back heel, straightening that back leg, pressing into the front heel, drawing that right hip back and underneath the body. And then reaching up, opening out into warrior two. Still that right hip pressing underneath the body. So feeling those muscles on the outside of the hip working and coming into a flow between reverse warrior and side angle. Okay. And then staying in reverse warrior for a few breaths. And then staying in side angle for a few breaths. Either arm to thigh, maybe hand to floor, maybe binding around that leg. And releasing the bind if you have it. Really pressing down through both heels, coming up, coming into goddess, bending the knees, sinking down low, and right arm on top of left, maybe coming into eagle arms and shifting from side to side, drawing windscreen wipers, or drawing rainbows, whichever image you prefer, with your arms, maybe drawing circles. Going in both directions, exploring your body, exploring the breath. Okay, coming into stillness. Gonna straighten the legs, bring the arms out to shoulder height. Turn the right foot in, turn the left foot out, and we come into triangle pose. So reaching, pressing the hips sideways, bringing one arm down, one arm up, rotating the rib cage, looking up towards the ceiling. And you can stay here if you want to, or you can explore the possibility of binding in triangle. Okay, then releasing, coming up slowly. And return to high lunge, facing the back. So the right heel flips up, turning the hips over the left leg, coming just briefly into warrior three. Again, so that's the left hip pressing underneath the body, really activating those stabilizing muscles in the hips, and then slowly, slowly, slowly coming up to standing. And here we are. Standing, you can turn around, go around to face me. So now we transfer the weight into the left leg. Is that right? Which leg did we do last time? Sorry.
Yeah.
Now the right leg lifts up. And we come into thread the needle. I think this is the other side. Yeah. Pressing the hips back, pressing the chest forwards. Okay, then coming up and slowly stepping back into the lunge, so bringing that leg all the way back, straightening the leg, reach back with your toes, bend the front knee to touch the toes down, slowly with control. Reaching the arms up, interlace the fingers, support the head with the hands, and ease yourself gently into your back bend. Activating the legs, pressing back with the heel, the back heel, and then that front hip presses underneath the body. And then unback bending, reaching the arms up, opening out into warrior two. And again, that flow between reverse warrior and side angle. And then the next time you're in reverse warrior, you'll stay for a couple of breaths. And then coming down into your side angle, arm to thigh, hand to floor, or bind. Yeah. Again, find the heels pressing down, the ball of the foot pressing down. Maybe just lift up the toes just to check you're not gripping. See if you can put the weight evenly in both feet. And then release the bind if you have it, slowly, slowly coming up and find your goddess. Opening the arms out, shoulder height, left arm on top, eagle arms and rainbows and circles and windscreen wipers and whatever your imagination wants. These circular movements are so good on so many levels, great for the fascia, to ease into the fascia, soften it up, really tap into that inner sea of fluidity that can then have a beneficial effect on all our physical systems. But also great for the mind, great for stimulating creativity, for balancing the nervous system. And for me, bottom line is it just feels really good. So just go for that good feeling. So freeze up the breath. Okay, and then coming into stillness. Arms back out to shoulder height, legs are straight. Turning the left foot in, the right foot out, coming into triangle pose. Reaching out to the side, the hips pressing back, hands lightly resting down. Expanding into your triangular shape. Lots of different triangles going on. Triangle between the legs. That hand that's down is making a triangle between the side body and the leg. 2 feet and the top hands are making a triangle. Triangles being magical shape of geometry, the kind of base shape of nature. And then if you want to add the vines, going ahead, leaning further down, wrapping the arms around the leg. And slowly coming back up. Squaring the feet to the long edge of the mat, rubbing the hands together. Another nervous system hack. Grounding, calming for the nervous system. Hold your hands out in front of you, palms facing up. Maybe you feel vibration. Maybe you can use your ujjayi to intensify the vibration. Maybe you can feel a triangle between your third eye and your 2 hands. Maybe you can feel a triangle that goes up from your third eye, mirroring the one between your hands. Maybe a portal to another state of consciousness, maybe even another dimension. And then opening out the arms, turning your left foot in, right foot out, coming into high lunge towards the back edge of the mat. And we briefly visit Warrior 3. Okay, and then slowly coming to standing. Standing for a moment, maybe hands on your lower belly. It's really open awareness of anything you might feel or see, hear, notice in any way. Okay, and then opening your eyes. And we'll have a play with Ekapada, Rajakapatasana. So grab your belt. If you're using it, grab your bolster. You don't have to use the bolster, it's just for my hips. It works a lot better because my hips don't do that shape very well or very comfortably. So up to you. You can also use the block, you can also use nothing at all if your body doesn't need it. So just getting what you need. So in downward dog with the bolster kind of underneath your chest. And let's bring the right foot forwards and rest. I rest the top of the thigh on the bolster, that works best for me. And let's just feel being here, check that everything feels good. And it might be nice to put blocks in front of you and come up higher onto the blocks. So adding a bit of a back bend. And let's bend up the back leg. Take hold of that foot and push the foot into the hand and see if we can bring the other arm forwards. So a bit of a a Dhanurasana shape. So we're trying to make a back bend, so pushing the foot away from the body, lifting the chest, and seeing how that feels. Turning the chest around to the front, towards the front of the mat. So that's our first exploration of Ekapada Raja Kapasana. So let's release that and do the other side. Just taking a moment to see how this side feels. Check. The body is saying yes. Bending up the leg, pressing the foot into the hands, and maybe reaching that other arm forwards and lifting the chest. Like I say, pressing the foot into the hands, arching the back, maintaining a sense of integration in the abdominal muscles. Okay, and then releasing that. Coming back into downward dog. And let's bring the other leg forwards again, so the right leg forwards again. Just take a moment to ease into your hips. And then bending up that back leg, and this time drawing the foot in towards the body. So trying to bring the foot towards the body rather than bringing it away. And I need to bring my knee back a bit and maybe lifting up that front arm. That's quite strong. So seeing how your body feels right now. Okay, are you ready? Do the other side. I find, so walking that, so my right knee is back. So walk the right knee away from me a bit before bending up the leg. And for me, that helps give me space. And then see if you lift up. And this is another nervous system hack really, because we're stretching out those hip flexor muscles, the psoas, which often hold a lot of tension and stress. So that's another good thing that we're doing. So coming back into downward dog, and then we'll do one more version. So bringing the right leg forward again. And this time we'll want the belt. So taking so now it's the left knee that's back. So I'm walking my left knee back away from me, bending up the foot, and then bringing the belt back to fit the belt around the foot, flexing the foot to hold onto the belt, and then bringing the arms around. And then you can potentially walk your hands down the strap if that feels appropriate. If you want, do you want me to come and help you look your foot? You can help each other. So take, yeah, exactly. It's okay? Yep. Right. And what about you, Lisa?
I'm sorry.
Okay. How are you doing, Ingrid? Yes. You can, take with both hands if you want, and then you get that real, sorry, it's a bit of a boob shot there on the thing. Yes. And you're bringing the shoulders, and whoa, nice, and breathing. Awesome. Okay, and then let's do the other leg when you're ready. So, calm your voice. So, finding the position, walking your way back, bending the foot up, kicking your foot. And then finding it back there. Nice.
I feel like my hips really go to the side, so I cannot keep them like straight. Is that like that I tend to go here?
Yeah, you could potentially, that bolster is quite squishy. I think maybe if that bolster was rigid,
bigger, yeah,
it wouldn't happen.
yeah, because I never have been doing this because I'm always kind of a bit on the side, but this bolster actually really helps to kind of get the leverage.
Yeah, I would say harder. I mean, you could maybe even next time you can come out now actually when you're ready. Maybe putting the bolster like that, so it's more.
Yeah, because it feels like that it would be important to have the hips straight.
Yes, I think it's better. Yeah, for me.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Nice.
Okay, so let's
Come out of the pose and come to lying on our back. How are we doing today? Not very well.
I haven't done very well with our timing today, but that's okay. My suggestion is reclining twist to counterbalance. If your body's crying out for something else, of course, listen to that. But maybe if you feel like it would be nice to do an Urdhva. We've done a lot of work opening up for it, so it might feel nice to do it right now. If you'd rather go into reclining twist, then go into your reclining twist.
Nice. Do you want to try, Elisa, the version when you bring your hands around your head? You might be opened up for it now. Yeah, probably says that.
What kind of version?
So, I have to.
Do you start from the...
And I have to take my hair out.
Mess up my hair to show you. You start from this?
So let me show you. I'll show you. So you can't have hair on the top of your head. So the way I would go into it is to lift up into bridge first, and then put the head down, and then bring the hands around, interlace the fingers, and then lift up from there.
Okay.
And it's a really amazing shoulder stretch, and also I guess strengthening.
Lovely. Try.
But don't push it, Elisa. If your body's
No.
body's gentle at the moment, then no. Do you want me to support you? No. Okay.
No,
It's just not. Okay. Let's do our twist. And then the other side.
And then coming back to the center, hands on the belly, and a few breaths into the hands. And then letting go of the breath, coming into your final Shavasana position, whatever it is for you, and we'll take 5 minutes. So letting go of the breath, letting the breath do whatever it naturally wants to do, letting your body be supported by the surface underneath you, and is seeing how much you can let your energy spread. Okay, and slowly starting to come back. Maybe awareness first of all, coming to the sounds around you, the temperature, the air, the texture of the surface underneath you, and then small movements. Gradually increasing the movements. Opening your mouth wide, see if a yawn will come. Oh, and then hugging your knees up towards your chest. Rocking from side to side. Rolling over onto one side. Coming up slowly.